Hello, beautiful Virgo family, and welcome to November 2020. This is a month that is so much about shift. And Virgo, this is where it's checking in for you and where we're having like a moment of just shifting gears, coming to a culminating point, coming to a sense of understanding. Has to do with all this work that's been going on in your fellow earth sign of Capricorn. You know, we've talked about this before, but there's been so much happening over there. And this year, especially, Jupiter and Saturn have been working very deeply in Capricorn along with Pluto. And this month, one of the big things that's happening that I think is going to hit the Virgo fam a little deeper is this Jupiter-Pluto conjunction happening on the 12th. It's the day before Mars goes direct, which is also hitting you in an interesting place. And it's happening just about 10 days after Mercury goes direct. But this Jupiter-Pluto conjunction is the last of a series that those two planets have been doing this year. And as this happens, this is the last time we're going to have a Jupiter-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn in a very, very long time. I don't even know the next time that's going to happen, actually. I can't calculate it in my head at this moment. It's a long, long time from now. It's a closeout. And this conjunction and these conversations have been asking you, Virgo, especially this year, how you want to open your heart, how you want to be authentic. So the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction is really powerful. The Mars direct energy this month on the 13th into the 14th as Mars stations direct in Aries is also about death and rebirth for you. The Mars retrograde has taken you some deep spiritual places. And with these two things happening right at the center of the month, right before the new moon in Scorpio in your third house, you know, about your voice and your short-term goals, the middle of the month for me is really about showing yourself, reminding yourself about how much you have grown, how much you have changed, and also taking a moment to realize how much you've overcome your fears around being authentic in the world, being on your authentic path. Not just the cultured path you've been told is how you have to think about life, but the path that is really inside of you, right? And so that's been a lot of the work this year and November, and these stations and these conversations and the way that the energy is starting to move direct. That's what I say about this year. It's an adjustment month where we're shifting from all the heavyweight energy of the Capricorn work that we've been doing in 2020, of the Mars retrograde, of all this stuff, into forward motion, into some new challenges, into some new chapters that will be happening in December. So November is really important. You want to use this month wisely. I have one more note for you that came through for Virgos about November that I think is really powerful, which is do things that help your body process the stress from this year. Shake it out, shake it out however you can. Put on the Taylor Swift song, I don't know. Put on the Florence and the Machine song, which is probably more my my style. But, just allow yourself to just express and feel and shake out, let your body rest and process through some of the stressors, some of the overwhelm, and listen into that heart space and the collective messages you've been getting. A lot of it, Judgment. Yeah. Such a healing, strong card. I love Judgment. A lot of the work for Virgo has been around finding that deep sense of safety, not so much in the controlling, right? Not so much in the micromanaging the details, but in surrendering to the knowing, surrendering to that part. 6 of Pentacles. Love this so much. This is such good, nourishing energy here. Leaning into the part of Virgo that is tied to the Hermit, to the Goddess, to the natural cycles of the earth, right? Virgo isn't just about being, and we've talked about this before, that there's a dualism in Virgo energy, because there's the one side that is about needing things to be functional in the world and being really focused on how we show up to that and how things are working. Are they tidy? Are they making sense? Can we put this in an order somehow, right? And Queen of Swords, clarity. And there's another side of Virgo that is tied to the Hermit, that is tied to the change of seasons and the harvest, that is tied to the celestial heavens, that is very deeply connected to ritual, to innate knowing. And so much of this year has been about you having to lean more into that celestial, divine side of Virgo energy and not lean on the more grounded part of the Virgo process. And I think this month is just kind of give yourself a chance to, and Wheel of Fortune. Wow. Okay. You know, the thing with this month is that there is a lot of direct motion. Mercury finishes his retrograde on the 3rd in Libra. So that's going to be in your second house, and then moves forward, gets out of post-shadow phase in November. Mars goes direct on the 14th. Jupiter or Neptune goes direct on the 30th. We have a new moon in Scorpio, death and rebirth, a really strong theme. A full moon in Gemini, which is, you know, all about opening up our mind to new ideas. There's a lot of energy moving here with you during the month of November, and a lot of it is very direct. There is an honesty and an openness in the fog lifting in November. But let's talk about these cards. You know, Judgment came out right away. Now, I love this card, and I know many people have a hard time connecting to this energy. You know, it's very, it has a lot of biblical references, this one, to do with the book of Revelations. And that can be a little like, how is this a good card? But the thing with Judgment is that it's very, you know, it's the number 20 in the major arcana. It's very close to the end of the Fool's journey. It's all these other things have happened, right? There's been ups and downs and jubilation and celebration and grief and a whole lifetime of experiences. When you get to Judgment, like I said, with November, I think is very tied to Judgment energy. Jupiter-Pluto conjunction. Jupiter expands that transformative element of Pluto and really has us fully embrace our transformation. And part of that transformation is the Judgment energy, which is about coming to peace and understanding about all that's happened this year. Remember how I said to like literally let your body shake off the stress, find ways to just jump, or you know, you could do something more structured like yoga, or tapping would be awesome. Judgment is taking that moment to find some grace in everything that's happened and to process it. It's a very deep healing card, and it's a really essential part of transforming, of welcoming in new energy. We really can't skip the Judgment part. So whenever this is coming in, though, for me, this is when we come to a deeper understanding about our process, and that frees us up to do a lot more. And here's the thing. Judgment for you does have to do about just kind of balancing your physical, balancing what makes you feel safe, what makes you feel like you're held, finding those routines. You know, Six of Pentacles really wants there to be reciprocal systems in place. And that, yes, that's relationships. That's also in how you're thinking about your worth, your value, your money, your resources, your environment. Even though I said earlier that yes, this year has been asking you and moving forward to lean more into your divine knowing, I also think that this month, one of your tool sets is you can find ways to do nurturing physical rituals that help you feel grounded, help you take stock, help you reconnect to your body. So for me, Judgment, the Six of Pentacles have everything to do with healing, everything to do with connecting in, feeling through, getting clear, all of that, right? Just taking a moment. I also say often with this type of energy moving through the sky, with all these station direct energies, they are kind of intense, like the days that we have a direct motion, like your ruling planet Mercury going direct in your second house of value, self-love, possessions, and then Mars going direct in your house of death and transformation. It's pretty big stuff. Those are moments you want to pause and take good care of yourself, not rush forward and be like, okay, well now it's all direct, so I need to be doing everything. So just keep that in mind. Now for you, the second half of this reading is really powerful. Queen of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. Now these are very authentic cards. These are forward motion cards. This is not about sitting in the past. It's not about forgiving the past or what's happened in the past. Like Judgment is much more time melting in the sense that you have to kind of love your whole journey. The Queen of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune are very much about looking forward. Okay, these things have happened. Okay, this is where I am now. This is where my tools are. Yes, I've had to face into these fears. I've had to face into my haunted house. I've had to figure out what this looks like, whatever the case may be. And then the Queen of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune come through and they say, okay, there's a change of season here. There's a turning of the wheel. And there is a kind of crisp, clear determination that is coming in here with this energy. To me, this is like when I talk about the knowing, right? There's kind of believing, there's kind of hoping, there's kind of wishy-washy, you know, kind of like, oh, I guess, right? And then there's that knowing that we commit to, right? There's the knowing that we are always going to be able to handle what's next, that we are going to be empowered by what is next. We know that we are going to figure out ways to move forward. We know that we are going to open our hearts up. We know that the right things are coming for us and that the doors are opening for us. And we just have to sit in that knowing. So for you, there's 2 parts this month. First part, take care of your physical, find some grace, you know, go deep into your underground, find grace and forgiveness for all the crazy things that have happened. Find those soft spots, let yourself feel, take care of your body. And then when we come out on the other side of that Scorpio new moon on the 15th, so much direct energy is in the sky at that point, and it's time to look forward. It's time to focus on what is next. It's time to start setting your sights on what is coming up, because December, I tell you what, we are going to have a huge collective shift in energy, when Jupiter and Saturn leave Capricorn. And with that is going to come a completely new set of challenges. Like, it's not like it's just going to be peace and love and flowers. Everybody's going to be experiencing it differently. But it's going to be refreshing in the sense that we've been working with a certain set of challenges having to do with the heaviness of Saturn and Capricorn, the authoritarianism that comes with that. There's almost a brutality sometimes to Saturn and Capricorn. Now, Saturn moving into Aquarius, we'll get more into this next month, is about much more of the humanitarian side of Saturn's work, the humanitarian side of building and creating. So it's big. It's going to be a big shift. So November is important. Now I'm going to pull one final card for my beautiful Virgo family from the Animal Totem Tarot. And as I'm talking through all of this, I'm definitely talking to myself too. Being a Virgo moon, this is kind of my inner process. As much as I have my Leo Sag energies, the Virgo stuff really hits home in a very personal way. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be doing this work too. Definitely going to be doing my November homework. I'm like, all right, I'm ready for Judgment though. I love that energy. For me, that is one of the most freeing energetic phases you can be in. So, okay, so the Animal Totem Tarot. Let's see what animal message wants to come through for November. 3 of Swords. Wow, and it's the elephant. Oh my God. See, this deck is so beautiful because it gives you messaging in a really symbolic, beautiful, natural way, like harmonizing the natural worlds. So let me read the message that comes with this from the book of the Animal Totem Tarot. There is something to be said for taking a moment and honoring what hurts. Judgment, right? Pain itself is not a problem. Not knowing what to do with that pain, however, is where you can get into trouble. Loss is a very important part of this physical world. You cannot have new life without death, nor can you have gain without loss. So in this still moment, bow your head and honor all that was, is, and is on its way. Oh my God. That just makes me want to cry. I mean, partially because it's an elephant, and I think, elephants are just such beautiful beings. Sorry, you guys, it's so weird. But that's exactly it. In fact, I feel like this is the most appropriate message of all the November readings. This is really what I was trying to get to the heart of in conversations this month, because it's important to take a moment and feel through what has happened this year, and take a moment to feel what you feel the stress that's been in your body, and like release it. Feel some of the sadness around what has been lost, right? It's important to take a moment to like honor what you've learned, honor what you've been through, honor how brave and courageous you have been. It's important to take a moment to honor November itself and what it is bringing about and what we are learning in it. And also, like the message said, what is coming and what is on its way, honoring what is about to show up. And November wants all three of those honorings to happen. And it's a cycle that moves through. And for Virgo, I think it's really, really important to make this a month of like ritual with the divine, right? Carve out those 5 minutes if you can. If that's all you can manage, 5 minutes a day where you tap into that knowing, where you tap into that acknowledgement of the whole process, from past, present, and future. Take the time to tap into each. Wow, that is so powerful. And you know, elephants are so full of heart and memory. And I think Virgos have a very good memory and attention to detail. They're very good at keeping information alive and well in their minds. And that's a beautiful thing. But it's also, you can't keep reliving the past. So this is also a time to release and move forward. Really powerful reading, you guys. Wow. We're going to be going really deep on Patreon. This is where I'm going to be finishing out Mars retrograde, where we're going to be getting prepared for the Aquarian age of Saturn in Aquarius, and where we're going to be getting prepared for a very different energetic tableau, so to speak. So if you are looking for some extra guidance, it's really a beautiful space. I really try to offer great little worksheets, great discussions. I give you that weekly support. You get a little sermon every week so that you can take it with you and move through the week with a little bit more empowerment. It's a really great spot. So I'd love to see you there. You can also find me on my website, on my Instagram. I'll leave all of my links in the description box. So you just look right below this video, you'll find them. You can also find PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry on her Etsy shop. I'll leave her Etsy shop the link below. She's got some really fun new witchy things out. And of course, I'd love it if you subscribe. I will see you all in December for our next shift in energy. Take such good care of yourselves, Virgo, and I love you so, so much.